Hi there. I hope life has been treating you well. I'll go straight to the point. Oh, by the way, this is 15 Minutes with Divan. You see, there are a number of adages on friendships and keeping friends and so on and so forth. And one of the most prominent ones, which might sound a little bit confusing, is keep your friends close and your enemies closer. That adage is taken from a book known as The Art of War, written many centuries ago by a philosopher, an Asian philosopher called Sun Tzu. I may not have pronounced the name correctly, but something along those lines. You may also have heard, "May God protect us from our friends, because we already know who our enemies are." And I think the second one is more appropriate and more significant to what I want to talk about today. A story broke on the 10th, I think, of September. It has been overshadowed by many events, and because it didn't happen in Nigeria. It's not trending. It's something to do with domestic violence. So, the Nigerian woman, her name is Rita Amenze, her name was Rita Amenze. I use the name in the past tense because she's dead as I speak. Married this 61-year-old Italian, Pierangelo Pellizzari, who ended up murdering her in broad daylight in front of everybody for an act of betrayal. Rita arrived in Italy, as an illegal immigrant, She was one of those that got scooped out of the water and was in essentially an immigration camp when Pierangelo met her. So you have this situation where this man saw this lady, fell in love with her, an interracial relationship. And you know how complex some of these relationships can be. Pulled her out of the miserable circumstances she was in, probably elevated her to a better set of circumstances, married her, and thought he was in a valid relationship, when the whole time this woman had ulterior motives. Somewhere along the line, after the marriage was done and dusted, mind you, the details are still somewhat sketchy because investigations are ongoing. So, but after the marriage was a done deal and she had gotten her papers and was now a valid citizen of Italy, she decided to make her excuses. I guess I'm thinking she probably told him, "Oh, it's been a while since I went back to my home country. I need to go back and assure them that everything is okay, let them know what's up with me and all that, and of course I'll come back." Now, what Pierangelo never guessed was that this lady he fell in love with was already a mother of 3 kids. Whether he knew about the children or not is sketchy. What is known is that this lady came back to Nigeria with the intention of, getting her family together and subsequently shipping them back to Italy to live with her. Since she's now a citizen, she's entitled to all the benefits and whatever other goodies come with being an Italian citizen. So her plan now was to divorce Pierangelo, that's the Italian who married her, pulled out of those miserable circumstances, married her, gave her a better life. So her grand plan now was to divorce Pierangelo, start her own life, possibly get her own space, then ship her family to Italy, so that they could start a whole new life in this much better country. Now, unbeknownst to her, a friend whom she had kept in the loop of everything she was planning, and this is where, I keep emphasizing that the story is sketchy. We're not told the name of this friend, but I'm assuming it's a woman. I'm assuming it's a woman because most men would not be comfortable having their wives keep a close male friend. No matter how platonic you assure them the relationship is, most men are not comfortable. So it's based on that I'm assuming that this so-called best friend was also female. And for those of us who know how female friendships go, and this is something men should be aware of, when two or three women agree, when their spirits are bonded and they feel that they have a genuine friendship, there's practically nothing they don't tell each other. Yeah? Including what happens behind closed doors with their spouse. Women can get very, very verbal and open and reveal everything with that person they feel they trust. So this so-called best friend of hers was in the picture of everything that was going on, and at a point decided to start giving the Italian husband a blow-by-blow account of everything his wife was up to. So before Rita ever came back from Nigeria, her Italian husband knew that she had 3 children with a man, and she was planning to ship that family back to Italy to come and live as a family unit, and that the plan was she would come back alone, divorce him, start life anew, and then ship the family over. Now, one thing I'll give Pierangelo credit for was he calmed down and watched things play out. Yeah? Maybe he wanted to give Rita the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he just wanted to, allow her to use the rope to hang herself properly. Either way, he waited to see what would happen when she comes back from Nigeria, and that was exactly what she did. She came back from Nigeria and filed for divorce. Got a very long story short, this man who already has a history of drug addiction, violence, he's been in jail a number of times, he managed to get himself a gun, found his way to her office and shot her dead in front of colleagues, and was on the run. But thank God for the justice system, he was apprehended after a few days and he's currently in police custody. You see, if you have ever been betrayed in this life, if you've ever been stabbed in the back, the deepest hurt, when you turn around and see who it was that stabbed you in the back, is not the fact that you got stabbed, it's who was holding the knife. Sometimes it is, when you are really unlucky and unfortunate, it is a close family member, or in this case, a friend that you've confided everything in. And that's the perspective I'm taking this story from. What Rita did is unarguably evil. Was she by nature an evil person? I don't know. But that particular act of betrayal was an evil thing to do. Pierangelo reacted the way he reacted. He is a human being. Am I trying to justify his action because what she did was wrong? No, they're both wrong. There's a bad way of doing things and there's a worse way. Pierangelo opted for the worst way of reacting, which will now possibly, end up with him finding himself back in jail again, and so on and so forth. So it's a lose-lose situation on both sides. That's not where I'm coming from. I just use the story to give you a backgrounder to what I want to talk about today, which is that may God protect us from our friends, because we already know our enemies. That person that always comes at you sideways, that has shown you on more than one occasion is disrespectful to you, treats you shabbily, talks in a bad way about you, doesn't care about you. You see them, you know who they are. They are open about it. And personally, I cherish such people because they've already told me who they are. They've already given me a template of engagement with them. But you see that close family member, that close friend, that person that you think is on your side when they actually can't stand you, those are the people that should keep you awake at night. As far as I'm concerned, this Rita woman, Pierangelo is just the person who wielded the weapon that killed her. The person that made sure she's not alive today is that friend of hers whose name is still not in the media at the moment. People who are listening to this story will say, she was, trying to protect the man from the pain of what her friend was about to do to him. I would love to think that this was an altruistic move gone wrong. But you see, with such people, it's no act of altruism. And I personally believe that best friend might not even be attracted to Pierangelo. It had nothing to do with, she likes Pierangelo and she wants to hook up with. No, I don't think it's that either. This is somebody who has been jealous of this Rita for a while, and Rita did not know. She was jealous of everything Rita had been able to accomplish, and Rita did not know. So this whole time, Rita was harboring a serpent in her bosom and didn't know. A true friend will try to talk her friend out of that thing. Not go behind and go and tell that man. Where does she know the Pierangelo from that she's so concerned about his welfare? She's not his sister. A genuine friend would have done everything in her power to dissuade Rita from doing that bad thing. That's what a genuine friend would do. And where she's unable to influence Rita to stop that thing, she'll cut off from her because, listen, woman, this thing you're about to do, I don't believe in it. I don't agree with what you're about to do. And I'm not going to stay here and compromise who I am by, enabling this terrible thing you're trying to do. You're about to destroy somebody. And you want me to keep, carrying you around in a ball of cotton and encouraging you and calling you my... No, I don't believe in what you're about to do. And I personally am not that kind of person. So if I cannot dissuade you from this evil thing you're about to do, then maybe you and I don't need to be friends. But this particular friend, I can bet you anything without being there, just by knowing how close women bonds go. She probably encouraged Rita every step of the way. She might even have given Rita tips on how to go about it in the smartest way possible. That's how such people are. They applaud every last bit of nonsense you're about to go into. They encourage you. They give you tips. They tell you the best way to go about it, the way you will do it that will not lead to anything negative, will not bring about any negative consequences. And the whole time, they're holding the knife with which to stab you in the back. May Rita Amenze's soul rest in peace. May her children, may they have a better life. Because that's ultimately the evil she was trying to do was, hopefully, she thought she was trying to give her children a better life, the man she claimed she loved, and all this and all this. And may God also help Pierangelo, because if you stop and think about it, we're all human beings. Would you like it if somebody did that to your brother? That said, may justice take its course. Whatever the penalty is that goes with taking the life of another in Italy, may it apply to Pierangelo, because I'm sure there are other options he could have availed himself, that he chose not to. Is it a crime of passion? Yes. But he had enough time to stop himself from actually killing her and allowing the cause. Maybe there could have been some other way of handling this where he himself doesn't end up in jail, thereby giving himself the opportunity to actually experience love with somebody who would be worthy of it. whichever angle you take the story from, it's just a sad tale. But the teaching point in all of this, may God protect us from our friends, because we already know who our enemies are.